Welcome to Prose. This week, we have an April Fools special, and we have an Easter special. This year, we have before us an odd joint holiday. April Fool's Day and Easter fall on the same Sunday this year, today, so I could not pass up reviving the old Easter Loves History series from my Thumbnail Histories series, adding it and exploring why on earth we all like to play pranks on one another on this, do we call it special day? Here in the US, we don't have any quaint, kind little pranks that are utterly expected, unlike a great deal of the Francophone world that chases the Prose April custom of not having fish taped or placed on them while trying to put as many fish as possible on others. Or some such madness. I must admit that my own experience with Prose April is just that, my experience. So, amid the research, I very well might have suffered from some confirmation bias. The Francophone push to toss fish at you seems to date back somewhere around circa 1508. Many sources point to that being the date that the famed poet Éloi d'Ambeval wrote about these wondrous fish of April and the latent silliness of the day. Though that seems like a contender for the oldest reference, most scholarly and unscholarly sources, including the ever-glorious, ever-giving Wikipedia itself, argue that the very first April Fool's reference belongs to none other than the purported father of English literature himself, Geoffrey Chaucer, in his masterwork still being used to torture seniors in high school and English majors alike, the Canterbury Tales. More specifically, around 1392, the reference comes in The Nun's Priest's Tale. So, let's experience this tale together, shall we? For the April Fool's section, we have Miss Elizabeth Peterson reading for us, one of our guest voice actors that we've had on the show a couple times now. So keep your ears keen for potential April Fool's Day references and enjoy this reading of The Nun's Priest's Tale from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales in the Old English. All right, let's enjoy.
The Prologue of the Nonnes Priest's Tale. Who quod the nicht, good sir, na mar of this, that ye han said is right enough uis, and much more for little heaviness, is right enough to much folk, I guess. I say for me it is a great disease, whereas man had been in great wealth and ease. To hearing of higher sword and fall, alas, and the contrary is joy and great solace, as one a man hath been in povere state, and climbeth up and waxes fortunate, and there abideth in prosperity, which thing is gladsome and it thanketh me, and of such thing were goodly for to tell. Yea, good our host, by Saint Paulus Bella, you said right sooth this monk hath clappeth louder. He spake how fortune covered with a cloud, I knew never what, and also tragedy. Right now ye heard, and pardon no remedy, is for to bewail and no complain. That is done, and also it is a pain, as ye han said to hear of heaviness. No more of this, so God ye bless. Your tale annoyeth all in this company. Switch talking is not worth a boat or flay, for therein is there no desportion game. Wherefore, sire monk, down pierce by your name. I pray you heartily tell us of somewhat else, clinking of your bells, that on your bridge will hang on every seed, by heaven, king that for us all a deed. I should ere this han fallen down for sleep, although the slough have never been so deep. Thana had your tale been told in vain, for certainly as that this clerk is sane, whereas a man may have none audience, not helped it to tell in his sentence. And well I wot the substance is in me, if anything shall well reported be. Sir, say somewhat of hunting I your prayer, and nay, could this monk I have no lust to play. Now let another tell as I have told. Thana spake our host with the rude speech and bold, and said unto the nonnes priestess anon, Come nearer, thou priest, come here, thou Sir John. tell us which thing is may our hearts a glad. Be blithe though thou ride upon a jade. What though thine horse be both foul and lean? If he will serve thee, reckon not a bene. Look that thine heart be more evermore. Yes, sir, quod he, yes, host, so mote I go. But I be merry, wis I will be blamed. And right anon his tale he hath attained. And thus he said unto us every John, this sweete priest, this godly man, Sir John. Here beginneth the nonnes priestess tale of the cock and hen, Chanticleer and Pergelote. A povere weide, som de sepe in age, was Wilhelm dwelling in the narrow cottage. Beside a grove, standing in a dell, this widow of which I tell you may tell. Seen thilke day she was last a wife, in patience a lad a full simple life. For little was her cattle and her rente, by house boundary of switches God here sent. She found herself and eke her daughter too. Arge sows had she and Namo, 3 keen and eke a sheep that hight male. Foolsisode was here a bower and eke her hale, in which she ate full many a scandre meal. Of pie and sauce here ne'd never a deal. No dainty morsel passed through her throat. Her diet was accordant to her coat. Replention made here in every seek. Attempted diet was all her physique. An exercise she had to sufferance. The goat let here nothing for to dance. Nepal exist shan't natter heed, nor when drank she, neither where she read. Her board was served most with wet and black, milk and brown bread in which she found no lack. Send back on in some time a nay or tway, for she was, as it were, a manner day. A yard she had, enclosed all about, with 6 and a dray drach without, in which she had a cock, hight Chanticleer. In all the land of crowing Nass's beer, his voice was merrier than the Murray organ on the Mass days, in that church gone. Well, sicker was his crowing in his log, than is a clock or an abbey or log. By nature he knew each ascension of equinoxical in Thilke town, for 1 degrees 15 wherein ascended. Thonne crew he thought it might not be amended, his comb was redder than the thin coral, and it betiled as it were a castle wall. His bill was black, and as the deity shone, like a steer were his legs and his tune, his nally sweeter than the lily flower, and like the burned gold was his colour. This gentle cock had in his governance several hens for to down all his pleasance, which were his sisters and his paramours, and one like to him as of colours, of which the fairest hued on her throat was cleped fair damoiselle Perlotte. Courteous she was, discreet and debonair, and companable, and bar herself so fair. Seen thilke day, that she for 7 nicht old, the truly she hath the herte in hold of Chanticleer in lock in every leaf. He loved her so that well was him therewith, but switch a joy was it to hear him sing. When that the bright sun gone to spring, in sweet accord, my life is fairin in London, for same time as I have understood, beastes and breedes could spake and sing, and so befell in that dawning, a Chanticleer among his wives all, sat on his perch that was in the hall, and next him sat the fair Perlotte, this Chanticleer gan groaning in his throat. This man that in his dream is rette sore, and one that Perlotte thus heard him roar. She was aghast and said, Herte dear, what aileth you to groan in this manner? Ye have been a very sleeper, fie for shame. And he answered and said thus, Madame, I pray you that ye take not a grief. By God me mette I was in such mischief, right now that yet mine herte is sore affright. Now God, quoth he, my severin reche aright, and kept my body out of foul prison. Me mette how I roamed up and down within our yard, where as I saw a beast was like a hound, and would ham made arrest upon my body, and while ham had me dead, His colour was betwixt yellow and red, and tapet was his tail and both his ears, with black unlike the remnant of hairs. His snout is small with glowing even train, yet of his look for fair I almost idea. This caused me my groaning doubtless. Avoy, quod she, fie on you, herteles. Alas, quod she, for by that God above, now han ye lost mine heart and all my love. I cannot love a coward by my faith, for certes what so any woman saith, we alle desiren if it might be, to han house bonds hardy, wise and free. And secre, no niggard, no fool, ni him that is aghast of every tool, ni non avator, by that God above, how durst ye say for shame unto your love, that anything might make you afraid? Have ye no manners, Herta and Hannah Baird? Alas, and gone ye ben of aghast of 70s, nothing God wot but vanity and swavenese. Swevens a gender of replicoons, and after a human complications. When humours been to abundant a wit, certes this dream, which ye han met to neat, cometh of the great superfluity of your red colour party, which causeth folk to dreaden in her dreames, of hours and of fear with red lames, of red beasts that they wall him beat, of contact and of whelps great and leet. Right as the humour of the melancholy causeth full many a man in sleep to cry, for fear of black bears or bullis blacke, or elles blake del velis wolle han take. Of other humours could I tell also, that work in many a man in sleep full woe, but I will pass as lightly as I can. Lo Cowtown, which that was so wis a man, said he not thus, ne do no force of dreames. Now sire, quod she, when we flay fro the bemis, for goddess love is taxom laxative. Up peril of my soul and of my life, I conselle you the best, I will not lay, that both of colour and of melancholy you purge you, and for you shall not tarry. Though in this town is not apothecary, I shall myself to herbs attation you, that should be for your helle and for your crow. And in our yard though herbs shall I find, the which han of here property by kind, to purge you beneath and take above, forget not this, for God is own love. Ye have been full choleric of complexion, worth the sun in his ascension, and ye find you not replete of humorous hote, and if it do I dare well lay it to grote, that ye shall have a favourite terracan, or an ague that may be your ravana. A day or two you shall have digestives of worms ere ye take your laxatives, of laureole, centaur, and fumitera, or else of ellebore that groweth there, of catapus or garates berries, of herb ye've growing in our yard, their merry is. Pick him right up upright as they grow, and eat him in. Be merry, husband, for your father Cana dreadeth no dream. I can say you no more. Madame, quod he, grant mercy of your Laura, but none the less of touching dam Cowtown, that hath of wisdom such a great renown. Though that he bed no dream is for to dread, by God men may in all the books read, of many a man of more authority than ever Cowtown was, so much I say, that all the ever saying of this sentence, and how was found in by experience, that dream has been significant owns, as well of joy as of tribulations, that folk endure in this life present. There needeth make of this non-argument, the very brave showeth indeed. One of the greatest doctor that man read, saith thus, that whilom two fowlers went on pilgrimage, in full good intent, and happened so, they come in a town, where, as there was such congregation of people, and so eke so straight of her bagage, that they ne found as much o cottage, in which they both a mighty logged be, wherefore they must in of necessity, as for that each depart in company, and each of them goeth to his hostery, and took his logging as it would a fowler. that one of him was logged in a stalla, fair in a yard of with oxen of the plough, that other man was logged well enough, as was his adventure or his fortune, that us governeth all as in commune, and so befell that long ere it were day, this man met in his bed there as he lay, how that he foul a gown upon him calle, and said, Alas, for in an ox's stall, this nicht I shall be murdered or I lie. Now help me, dear brother, or I die. In all a haste come to me, he said. This man out of his sleep for fair abread, but when he was waked of his sleep, he turned him and took of this no keep. Him thought his dream was not a vanity, thus 'twas in his sleeping dreamed he, and at a third time yet his fell way. Calm as him thought, and said, I am now slow. Behold my bloody wounds deep and wide, a race up early in the marrow tide. And at the west gate of the town, quoth he, a cart full of dong there shalt thou say, in which my body is hid full privilege. Do the like a cart rest and bold delay. My gold cast my mortar sooth to sain, and told him every point how he was slain. With a full piteous face pale of hue, and trusty well he dream he found full true. For on the morrow as soon as it was day, to his fell was in he took the way, and one that he came to the ox's stall, and his fellow he began to call. The host still here answered him anon, and said, Sir, your fellow is agone, and soon as day he went out of the town, the man gone fallen in suspicion, remembering on his dreams that he made, and forth he goeth, no longer well he led, unto the west gate of the town, and found a dong cart went as it was to dong loud, that was arrayed in that same awise, as ye han heard the dead man devise, and with a hardy heart he gan to cry, vengeance and justice of this felony, my fellow murdered is this same night. I cry out, and in this cart he lith gaping upright, I cry out on the ministers, quoth he, that showed and keep and rail in this city. Harrow, alas, here lieth my felon slain. What should I more unto this tale saying? The people out certain cast the cart to ground, and in the middle of the dong they found the dead man that murdered was all new. O blissful God, that art so just and true. Lo, how that thou be raised to Modra alway, Modra well out, that say way day by day, Modra is so whatsome and abominable, to God that is so just and reasonable, that he no wolna suffre, it held bay, though it obeyed a year or two or three. Modra well out, this my conclusion, and right anon ministers of the town, and hent the carter, and so sore him pined, and eke the hoster so soon engained, that they bek nowe, here wickedness anon, and were announced by the neck upon. Here may men sin that dream has been to dread, and certes in the same book I read, right in the next chapter after this, I grab it not, so have I joy or bliss. 2 men that wold a han passed over say, for certain cause into a fair country, if that the wind had been contrary, that made him in city for to tarry, that stood full merry upon a heaven side, but on a day again the eventide, the wind gone change and blew right as him last, jolly and glad they went unto her rest, and cast him full early for to sail, but hearkeneth, to that o man feel a great marvel, that owning of him and sleeping as he lay, he met a wonder dream again of day. Him thought a man stood by his bed aside, and him commanded that he should abide, and said to him thus, If thou tomorrow wend, thou shalt be dreamt my tale is at an end. He woke and told his fellow what he met, and prayed to him for voyage for too late, and for that day he prayed to him to bide. His fellow that lay by his bed aside, gone for to laugh, and scorned him full fast. No dream, quoth he, may so mean hair to gast, that I will later for to do my things. I say to not a straw by thy dreamings, for sweven been but vanities and japes, men dreamed all day of owls and of apes, and of many a mace therewithal. Men dream of thing that never was nis shall, but sith I see that thou wilt here abide, and thus forswelleth wilfully thy tide, God wot it row with me, and have good day. And thus he took his leave and went to his way. But ere he had half his course he shelled, note I not why, ne what mischance it ailed. But casually the ships put on rent, and sheep and men under the water went, in sight of all their sheep it beside, that with him said at the same tide, and therefore fair perlot is so dear, by switch and samples all the mags still lear, that no man should be in to release. Of dreams for I say they doubtless, that many a dreamful sore is for to dread. Lo, in the life of Saint Kenel my read, that was Kenulf's son, the noble king, of Merchenreet how Kenel met a thing. A lighter he was murdered on a day, his murder in his vision he say, he noticed him expound every day. He sweven and bade him for to keep him well for treason, but he nas but 7-year-old, and therefore little tale hath he told of any dream, so holy was his heart. By God I had a lever than my shirt, that he had rack his legend as of I. Dame Perlot, I say yow truly. Macrobius that writ the Avision in Africa of the worthy Scipion, affirmeth dreamus, and saith that they been warnings of things that men after seen. And furthermore I pray thou looketh well in the Old Testament of Daniel, and if he held to dreams any vanity, readic of Joseph, and there shall ye say, where dreams be something, I say not all, warnings of things that shall after fall. Look of Egypt the king down Pharaoh, he backer and he Baudelaire also, where they ne felt none effect in dreams. Also one second actus of Sandra Remus, me read of dreams many a wonder thing. Lucretius' wish was that of Lo the king. Met he not that he sat upon a tree, which signified he should a changed be. Though here a Dromica, Hector's wife, that day that Hector should elase his leaf, she dreamed on the same night before, how that the life of Hector should be larn, if thilke day he went into bataille. She warned him, but it might not avail. He went for to fight none the less, but he was slain anon of Achilles. But think a tale is all too long to tell, and eke it is no day I may not dwell. Shortly I say, as for conclusion, that I shall have of this a vision, adversité, and I say furthermore, that I ne tell of laxitaves not door. For they been vain miss, I wot it well, I hem defu, I love him never dale. Now let us speak of mirth and saint all this. Madame Perlot, so have I blessed, of all a thing God hath sent me large grace. For one I say the beauty of your face, you been so scarlet red about your yen, it maketh all my dread for to dien. For also seeker as in principio, mulier is hominis confusio. Madame, the sentence of this Latin is, woman is man's joy in all his bliss. For one I feel a night of your soft seed, albeit that I may now not on ye ride. For that outer perch is mad, so narrow, alas, I am so full of joy and of solace, that I deaf ye both a swaven in dream. And with that word he flown down from the beam, for it was day, and eke his hen is all, and with a chuck he gan him for to call. Found a corn lay in the yard, real he was no more affaird. He feathered Perlot 20 time, and trad he ca eke, as oft as it was prime. He looketh as it were a grim leon, and on his toes he roameth up and down. He deigned not to set to his foot to ground. He chooketh when he hath a corn found, and to him renneth on his wives all. Thus royal as a prince is in his hall, live I this Chanticleer in his pasture, and after while I tell his adventure. One, that the month in which the world began, that height of March when God first marked man, was complete, and passed where also. Sin March was gone 30 days and 2, befell that Chanticleer in all his pride, his 7 waves walking by his side, cast up his eye into the bright sun, that in the sign of Taurus had he run, 20 degrees Sinon, and somewhat more, and knew by kind, and by noon author lore, that it was prime, and crew with blissful Steven. The sun, he said, is gloaming up on heaven, 40 degrees anon, and more wis. Madame Perlot, my world is bliss. Hearken this blissful bridges how they sing, and so the fresh flowers how they spring. Full is mine heart of revel and solace, but suddenly him feel a sorrowful case. For ever the latter end of joy is woe, God would the worldly joy is soon ago. And if a Rithor could a fair indite, he in a chronicle Sophie might it rate. As for a sovereign notability, now every wis man let him hearken me. This story is also true, I undertake, as is the book of Launcelot de Lake, that woman hold in full great reverence. Now will I turn again to my sentence, a Colfax full of sly inquiety, that in the grove had a 1 years 3, by high imagination fern cast, the same night throughout the Hager's breast, into the yard there Chanticleer the fair, was wont and ached his waves to repair, and in a bed of wort still he lay, till it was past 100 of the day, waiting his time on Chanticleer to fall, as gladly down this homicide is all, that in a wait ligging to murder men, of false murder lurking in the den, o new Iscariot, new Iglenon, false dissimilar, o great Casinon, that brought us through all outerly to sorrow, O Chanticleer, accursed be the morrow, that thou in yard flow from the bemis, thou were full you warned by the dreamus, that thilke day was perilous to thee, but what that God forwoot moot ne despair, after the opinion of certain clerks, witness on him that any perfect clerk is, that in shoal is great altercation, in these matera and great disposition, and hath been of 100,000 men, but eine can not build it to the brain, as can the holy doctor Augustine, or both in the bishop Bradwardine, whether the god is worthy for to attain, for to down a thing, needly clap by simple necessity, or else, if free choice be granted me, to do the same thing or do it not, though God forwot it ere that I was wrought. Or if his waiting straineth never a dale, but by necessity conditionnelle, I will not hand to do of switch mater, my tale is of a caucus ye may hear, that took his counsel of his wife with sorrow, to welcome in the yard upon that morrow, that he had made the dream that I outtold, woman his counsels been full of cold, woman his counsels brought us first to woe, and made Adam from paradise to go, there as he was full merry and well at ease, but for I not to whom it might displace, if I counsel of woman would blame, pass over, for I said in my game, read authors where they treat of such matter, and what they say of women ye may hear. This ben the caucus words and not mine, I can none harm of women divine, fair in the sound to bide her merrily, lith per lot, and all I hear is ostras by, again the sun and Chanticleer so free, song a merrier than the mermaid in the sea, for physiologists say secretly, how that they sing and well and merrily. And so befell that as he cast his eye among the waters on a butterfly, he was ware of this fox that lay full low, nothing least him fawn for to crow, but cried anon, cock, cock, and up he start, as man was afraid in his heart, for naturally a beast desireth flee, fro his contrary, if he may it see, though he never est had a saying it with his ear, this Chanticleer, one he gan him espy, he wold han fled, but that the fox anon said, gentle Sarah, alas, where will ye gone? Be ye afraid of me that am your friend? Now certes I were worse than a fiend, if I to you wold a harm or villainy. I am not come your counsel for to spy, but truly the cause of my coming was only for to hearken how that ye sing, for truly ye have as merry a Stephen as any angel hath that is in heaven. Therewith ye han in music more feeling than had a boche or any that can sing. My lord, you're a father, God his soul a bless, and eke your mother of her a gentleness. Han in mine house ye been to my great ace, and certes sire, full fain wold I a place. But for men spake of singing I will say, So mote I broke well mine even tway. Say how I heard a never man so sing, as did your father in the morning. Certes it was of hurt, all that he sung, and for to make his Faust the more strong, he would so pain him that with both his yen, he most wink so loud he would cryin, and soden on his cheap tune therewithal, and stretch forth on his neck long and small, and eke he was of switch disgracion, that there nas no man in no region that him in song or wisdom might pass. I have well read and down Bernal the ass, among his verse, how that there was a cock, for that a priest's son gave him a knock upon his leg while he was young and niece. He made him for to lace his benefice, but certain there is no comparison betwixt the wisdom and discretion of your father and of his subtlety. Now sing it, sire, for sainted charity. Let's say, con ye your father counterfeit, this Chanticleer his wing is gan to bait, as men that could his treason not espy, so was he ravished with his flattery. Alas, ye lord, as many a false flatterer is in your courtes, and many a longisser, that pleasing you well more by my faith, than he that sooth fasten unto the you saith, readeth Ecclesiastes of flattery, beeth war ye lords of her treachery. This Chanticleer stood he upon his toes, stretching his neck, and held his eye in close, and gan to crow aloud for the nonnes, and down rustled the fox, stared up upon us, and by the garret hent to Chanticleer, and on his back toward the wound him bare, for yet now was there no man that him sowed. O destiny, that mayst not been eschewed, alas, that Chanticleer flay from the bemis, alas, his wife ne'er got not of the dreamis, and on a Friday feel all this mischance. O Venus, that art goddess of pleasance, seeing that thy servant was the Chanticleer, and in thy service did all his power, more for delight than world to multiply, why wouldst thou suffer him on thy day to die? O Galfred, dear master sovereign, that one thy worthy king Richard was slain, with shoot compledest his death was so sore, why had I now thy sentence and thy law? The Friday for to chide is dead and yea, for on a Friday soothly slain was he. Thana would I show you how I could plain, for Chanticleer is dread and for his pain, such crying lamentation was never of a lad's mind when Yelona was won, and Pyrrhus with his dread sword, when he had sent the king Priam by his beard, and slain him as slayeth us in a dose, and made in all the hennes in the close. One night has seen of Chanticleer the sight, but sovereignly Dame Perlotte shright, full louder than did Hasdrubal's wife, one that her husband had lost his life, and that the Romans had abandoned Carthage. She was so full of torment and of rage, that wilfully into the fire she stared, and branding herself with a steadfast heart. O woeful hens, a right so cried in ye, as one that ne'er o'brand in the city of Roman cry and centaurs' wives, for that their husbands lost in all of their lives. Without in guilt this Nero has him slain. Now all I turned to my tale again. The silly widow and eke her daughters too, heard in this hen's cry and making woe, and out of doors a starting they anon, and saying the fox toward the grove agone, and bare upon his back the cock away, and cried in out, hurrow, and wail away. Ha ha, the fox, and after him they ran, and eke with staves many another man. Ran Coola our dog, and Talbart and Garlande, and Macon with the distaff in her hand, ran cow and calf and eke the very hodges, so fared for the berkin of the dogges, and shouting of the men and women eke, they ron saw him thought he her to break. They Yolden his fiend is done in hele, the dog is creed and his men welde him kele. The geese afore fair flowing over the trees, out of the haven came the swarm of bees, so hideous was the noise, a benedicti, certes he jack a straw his many, ne maid never shout as half so shrill, one they that would in any flame and keel. As thilke day was mad upon the fox, of bross they brought in bemis and of box, of horn of boon in which they blew and piped, and therewithal they shrieked and they hoped. It seemed as that heaven should fall. Now, good men, I prayeth you hearken all. Lo, how fortune turneth suddenly, the hope and pride ache of her enemy. This cock that lay upon the fox's back, in all his dread unto the fox he spake, and said, Sir, if that I were as ye, yet should I sin, as was God help me. Turneth again, ye proud shareless all, a very pestilence upon you fall. Now I am come unto the woodish side, maugre ye heed, and cock shall here abide. I will him mate, in faith and that anon. The fox answered, In faith it shall be done. And as he spake that word, and suddenly the cock brake from his mouth delivery, and high upon a tree he flying on. And when that fox say the cock was gone, alas, quod he, O Chanticleer, alas, I have to you, quod he, you do trespass, inasmuch as I make it you afeard, one I you hent and brought out of the yard. But sire, I did it in no wicked intent. Come down and I shall tell you what I meant. I shall say sooth to you, God help me so. Nay, then, quod he, I show us both the two. And first I show myself both the blood and bones. If thou beagle me after the ones, thou shalt no more thorough my flattery do me to sing and winketh with mine eye. For he that winketh, one he should see, all wilfully God let him never thee. Nay, quoth the fox, but God given him mischance, that is so undiscreet of governance, that jangleth when he should hold his peace, and lo, sweet it is for to be rich Elise, in negligent and trust on a flattery, but ye that hold in this tale of folly, as of a fox or of a cock and hen, taketh the morality good men, for Saint Paul saith that all that written is, to our doctrine it is irretious, taketh the fruit, and let the chaff be still. Now, good God, if that it be thy will, as saith thy Lord, so make us all a good men, and bring us up to his highest bliss. Amen. Here is ended the Nonnes Priest's tale. Sire Nonnes Priest, our host said anon, I blessed be the breach on every stone. This was a merry tale of Chanticleer, but by my troth, if thou wert secular, thou wouldst have been a trade if all aright. For if thou have courage as thou hast might, they were need of hens as I ween. Yeah, more than 7 times 17. See which browns hath this genteel priest, so great a neck and switch a large breast. He looketh as a sparehawk with his yen, him needeth not his collar for to deign, for with brassel ne with grain of portingale. Now, sire, fair foul yow for your tale. And after that he with full merry cheer said unto another, as ye shall hear. One that April with his shore so to the drocht of March hath celsed to the rod, and bothered every vine in which the cure, of which virtue engendered is the floor. One say for a sake with his sweet breath, and spirit hath in every holt and taith of the tender crop is, and the youngest son hath been thereon, his of course irona, and small foul smack and melody that step another nicht with up and ear, so pricketh him natura in her courages, then along and folk to gun and pilgrimages, and commerce for to sake and stranges, to fair, and always coutha in sundry lodges, and specially from every sheer ascend of England to Canterbury they wend, the holy blissful martyr for to sake that him hath hope in one that they were sake.
Well, did you catch it? Amid all that wonderful Old English? Basically, when we read, and I'll try to do this in the original, that light March 1 God first marked man was complete and passed, where also soon March was gone. 30 days and 2 befell that Chanticleer, in all his pride, his 7 weaves, walking down his seed, cast up his eyes to the bright sun that in the sign of Taurus had a Euron, and so on. Did you hear it that time? No? No worries. It's pretty quick and pretty small. Essentially, most Chaucer nerds believe the concept of March being gone, 30 days and 2, means that it's the 32nd of March when things get weird with Chanticleer, when he's tricked by that jerk fox. There are, of course, only 31 days in March, making this the 1st of April. The trick, then, goes down on that day of all days. Ta-da! What silliness! What insanity! Not as sexy as you'd hoped for? Sorry. I felt the same way. I actually prefer the potentially apocryphal tale of people showing up to see lions being watched at the old Tower of London in England in 1698. But I digress, and that is far later than this Chaucerian reference. Whether you throw paper fish at people, play pranks, or just ignore the day altogether, I hope you have an amazing April Fool's Day. The reader, of course, is Miss Elizabeth Peterson. Elizabeth is an educator, mathematician, and playwright who can be found between New England, Scotland, and Canada. She likes logic and words, and her favorite words are
Syzygy, eleemosynary,
and
Lugo de daily.
You can read her theater reviews and thoughts on the world at her website, mathematicalmedievalist.wordpress.com. That's mathematicalmedievalist.wordpress.com. All noises and musical tracks in the background of the story are from freesound.org. The sounds and musical tracks are all being used under CC 01.0 Universal Public Domain dedication licenses. Now, please stick around and stay tuned for an Easter special, a reading detailing the resurrection from the Gospel of Luke. Thanks for sticking around, and happy April Fool's Day.